In just the first month, the Trump administration already faces 74 lawsuits, 33 of which have been filed against DOGE. Joining me now is Fox News Sunday anchor and chief legal correspondent Shannon Bream. Shannon, will these lawsuits, there's lots of them, will they slow the president down?
They might, Stu. I mean, we know that there are certain judges who have already issued some injunctions or at least temporarily putting these things on pause. But the Trump administration is not going to slow down if it doesn't have to. They've already appealed at least one of these cases to the Supreme Court. We're waiting. We could get a ruling at any point now on this decision to fire a top official. And what the Trump administration says is, listen, if a lower court can stop me from firing people within the executive branch and doing the work of the presidency, it's going to not only harm me, but harm the presidency as a whole more long term. So we'll wait and see what the justices think about that.
The president said, look, he's open to using some of the money saved by DOGE for dividend checks. Watch this, Shannon.
We give 20% of the DOGE savings to American citizens and 20% goes to paying down debt. By doing this, Americans will tell us where there's waste. They'll be reporting it themselves. They participate in the process of saving money.
Shannon, is this another item that Democrats could block through the courts?
I would not be surprised if they would try to do it, but they'll have to turn around and look, as we all know, over the Biden and Obama and other Democratic administrations, there have been times in which money has been given back, stimulus checks or other things with the current president's name on them. Every president knows that that hits the mailbox of a person. And at a time they're struggling still with inflation and gas and eggs and all of these things, it makes a real world connection for people to get that check in their hands and say, oh man, I'll be able to breathe a little bit easier for a month or two, do some things with the kids, maybe sneak in a summer vacation this year. But there are those debating this who say, no, let's put it all towards getting down debt and deficit. Let's not turn it back to the American people. It sounds like the president is considering something that would do a little bit of both.
It sounds to me like at some point everything goes to the Supreme Court and they make the ruling on the whole lot. Is that right?
Yeah, I think a lot of these cases, and of course, you know, our viewers know that the Supreme Court doesn't have to take any case. It is that last court of jurisdiction, and they only take maybe 70 cases a year for their term. So they can't possibly take every single one of these, disputes that's coming to them, but they can probably take the biggest of the big that will really possibly shape the contours of the executive branch's power.
Big deal. Shannon Bream, we're going to watch you every weekend on Fox News Sunday. Thanks for being on this show with us today. Thanks so much, Shannon.
Thank you.